Alright folks, so one thing I haven't done is give you a look at my car ever since I lowered it. Now I did pick up some Perrelli P Zeros, and they are one size larger than your stock Abarth wheels. They are 215s instead of 205s. What rubbing I have gotten is just plastic, not a big issue at all, and that's only on extremely aggressive driving. Turning far left, right, you don't get any rubbing. The Abarth wheel wells, or the Fiat wheel wells in general, are really well done, really designed well. Give you a look at what the car looks like. Here's my beautiful tires. But I'm going to turn this wheel completely straight so you guys can see the stance of the vehicle. Let me get that completely straight for you guys. Okay. And the stance of the vehicle now is completely even, as you can see. Really nice. The suspension is new. I've got KONI Yellows up front, adjustable. KONI Yellows in the rear, adjustable. We just had a rain, so everything's pretty much rusted in there, as you can see. That'll be cleaned off here in a minute. And then the tires are new, and the springs are new. So driving impressions, you're going to get initial driving impressions, not break-in impressions. I'm sure once all this stuff breaks in, it's going to drive a lot differently than it does now, especially with the new tires on. Tires definitely need about, I'd say, a good 5,000 miles on them until you really get the true feeling of them. I went with the P Zeros because they do not have directional thread. Due to the 1.5 offset on this, you need to have non-directional tread on your wheels, and that's because you need to be able to swap this one with the rear and so on. Directional tread will only allow you to go from here to back, and made that mistake getting the Yokohamas, and those tires only lasted me a good 15,000 miles. So these wheels right here, I'm expecting a good solid 30,000 miles out of the way I drive, and I'll give you initial driving impressions. What I have noticed is, though, since I have lowered it, is my steering is a lot looser than it was before. Not horribly looser, but it is a lot looser. If there's a fix out there for that, anybody knows anything, let me know. So let's take this thing for a drive. I do have the suspension set up extremely aggressive. I have it a half turn from full stiff, both in the front and the rear. So we'll check this out. Alright folks, we're in sport mode, and where do I live? Everybody asks, do you live in heaven? I do. I live in a great area for sport driving. See how it feels. Now I do have about, I would say, a couple hundred miles on the suspension and about let's say about 50 miles on the wheels, so we'll see how she feels. The steering, like I said, is a little bit looser, but you're definitely a lot flatter throughout the turns. So I think even if it does stay this way, it is a good upgrade, and plus the car looks a lot better. We'll warm up this turbo a little bit. We'll go over some bumpy roads so you guys can see that being on aggressive, I'm not bottoming out. I am hitting some pretty big dips here, but these are KONIs, they can handle it, plus they have a lifetime warranty, so if I do blow out a shock, it's of no real consequence to me. So we'll check her out and see what she does. Steering is definitely looser, I'm going to tell you. I wish I could tighten that up again. That's going to take some time to get used to. The acceleration is much better though, and that's because you don't get that dip put the KONIs in the rear, the acceleration was better because you're a lot more planted. So when you accelerate, you don't have a tendency to lean back and get a lot of weight off those tires. So your grip is a lot better. So we're going to go through some bumpy areas here, and you guys can see what the suspension's like. That's bumpy. I'm hitting these bumps pretty hard. I ain't slowing down for them. Deep ones, but the smaller, bumps and stuff like that are definitely absorbed a lot better. Put these wheels through a heat cycle this early and break in. Let's see, let's go this way. Definitely lighter. A little less predictable. Not that I'm unhappy with it, but this is something I definitely want to point out. It seems like everybody that lowers their car, puts the sports stuff on it, has only good things to say. Remind you, this is the NEU-F Springs and the KONI Yellows. And the KONI Yellows are definitely proven fantastic shocks. Try some braking here and see how she does. Take her down here. I could probably take traction control off, because that's slowing me down a lot. try out the braking, see if that nose dips down like it used to. You get that diving effect. Here we go. Solid as a rock. That's nice. The braking is definitely better. Flat spot of these brand new tires, but you don't get that nose dive that you normally do. If anything, I get thrown in the front of the seat. I like that. It gives you a tickle. It's nice. Try some low speed. Now we'll put it off sport mode, see how loose it is. Yeah, boy, low speed's nice. You got some nice city driving here. I definitely like turning the sport mode off when I'm in the city because you really can take these turns nicely. Even sport mode off, I'm running 12 pounds of boost. Now I've got the ECU upgrade. Alright, now you guys get to look at my pretty face. Alright, so here we go again. That's no sport mode. We'll put it on sport mode. Difference is dramatic. 18 pounds of boost. Very flat, nice turning. I think I'm just going to have to get used to where the steering's at. It's just not going to be as tight as it was. Tongue thing. these corners, that corner's going to want to throw you into that ditch. So you want to take that turn a little bit wide and then come in. You take it on the outside, you're going to end up in that ditch. And they do that for runoff, for water, basically, so water doesn't pool up on the highway. Obviously, I'm not breaking the speed limit. Always want to drive safe. That bump really nicely. Big dip. You hear you got a little plastic there. Big bump. No problem. Take on some nice braking here. Standard braking, no dip at all. Big dips coming up. Absorbed it very nicely. I'm getting used to that steering on where it brakes. It does take some preparation though. I am used to the steering wheel with absolutely no play. You've got about, I'd say a good 1.5 inches of absolute no response. So that's something to think about before you lower your car, if that's something that's going to really bother you. Or if there's a fix out there for that. That'd be nice. Big dip. Let's see if it handles it nicely. Never trust a country stop sign. Slow down. And or speed by other people's houses. That's rude. That's the NEU-F Springs. I hope you guys enjoyed this little cruise of mine. Am I pleased? I love the looks. It's not broken in yet, so it's going to be a lot bouncier now. It is going to settle a little bit. I understand that. The play in the steering wheel, I would say, is the only negative that I feel. Definitely going to take some I'm going to have to get used to that.